After thousands of years of moving around Mars, a huge asteroid called Pi is now heading toward Earth. It will hit in 8 years and may destroy all humans. The world becomes scared, so the UN talks about the danger and lets China start a project called the United Nations Moon Shield, or UNMS. The plan is to build a giant base on the moon, make a super-nuclear weapon called the Cosmic Striking Hammers, use this weapon to break Pi, and use the moon's orbit as a shield to protect Earth from the broken pieces. Yu wants to join the moon mission, but in his interview, the officer isn't impressed because Yu says he is average and a middle man. Instead of being an engineer, Yu is offered a maintenance job. He still wants to go, so he agrees, and soon he is flying to the moon with the astronauts. 8 years pass. The team finishes the superweapon and launches it. Everyone celebrates. But Yu only watches launching, the base commander he likes. In his free time, he practices how to tell her his feelings, and he waits at the door every time she comes back. But launching doesn't even know who he is. One day, Yu stays in his room listening to music and trying to write a good love letter. Meanwhile, launching gets terrible news. A solar storm made one missile go the wrong way, and some asteroid pieces are coming toward the base. In 27 minutes, those pieces will destroy everything. Launching raises the alarm and tells everyone to evacuate. But Yu has headphones on and doesn't hear anything. All astronauts rush to the rockets and leave the moon. Yu only learns this when he looks out the window. He gets in a car and drives as fast as possible, but all rockets have left except one. He drives faster and tries using the radio, but the asteroid pieces block the signal. He tries to jump over a crater, but falls inside. At that moment, launching launches the last rocket and leaves Yu behind. Yu climbs out of the crater as the asteroid pieces fall on the moon. He runs and dodges the rocks to reach the base, which is now breaking apart. He avoids falling building pieces, gets knocked down, tries to jump into a crater, and gets knocked down again. While he's unconscious, a huge asteroid piece heads toward Earth. When Yu wakes up, he complains and tries to contact UNMS. Then the asteroid crashes on Earth and creates a giant explosion that destroys much of the planet. Yu watches with shock and sadness. Their 8 years of work failed. Yu returns to the base and keeps trying to contact Earth, but no one answers. For 6 days he calls again and again. Then he realizes he may be the last human alive. This makes his mind break even more. He makes a fake funeral room to honor all humans. The base still has food for 300 people, enough for his whole life. So Yu decides he'll finally do whatever he wants. He tries to enter Launching's room, but cannot guess the password. He rides a board on the moon for fun. He tries so many passwords, he almost goes crazy. In the end, he uses an explosive to open the door, blowing his clothes too. Now he wears Launching's uniform and builds a fake figure of her. He prepares a romantic dinner and tries to confess to the figure. He even kisses it, not knowing he's being watched. There are survivors on Earth. Civilians hide in underground bunkers and astronauts are in the UNMS underground base. Earth has very few resources left, so it will take 2 years to fix communications and even more to rescue him. The chairman thinks they should show Yu's life as a live broadcast to give people hope. Since there is no sound, they hire a voice actor for Yu to make him sound brave. Launching announces they found a man on the moon and the broadcast will start in 30 days. Some people don't believe it and disappear. Later, Yu becomes very depressed and decides to end his life. He goes to the warehouse for medicine and sees an open food package. He finds a beautiful shape inside and thinks it is a woman, but it's actually a kangaroo left behind by researchers. On Earth, they start the live stream and the first thing people see is the kangaroo, named King Kangaroo. The voice actor shouts, "What a fantastic day!" So it looks like the kangaroo said it. People think the audio is just delayed. Yu reads the research about Kong. He's aggressive and hungry, so he keeps stealing food. Yu grabs a shovel, but Kong breaks it and beats him. Then Yu dresses as a female kangaroo to distract Kong, but Kong tries to do something naughty. The mask falls off and Yu is kicked out. Kong enters the base. Yu prints a big plastic gun and shoots plastic balls at Kong while running. But then Kong chases him. The voice actor plays flute to make the scene dramatic. Yu and Kong fight until both fall. UNMS tries to contact Yu. When he wakes up, he hears radio static and cries because he thinks humans survived. But the static is actually caused by Kong's tail touching the cables. Yu and Kong look at Earth and think they may return someday. They agree to work together, although Kong punches him anyway. More than 200 days pass. Yu never stops sending messages to Earth. He and Kong create a routine, and Yu calls them a family. Since Earth will not rescue them, Yu decides to repair the old Apollo 18 spacecraft to fly home. Earth watches Yu work hard. They check his file and learn he actually is an engineer who ended up in maintenance. Later, Yu learns Apollo can carry only 22 pounds, and Kong is too heavy. Yu tries to leave Kong behind, but Kong chases him back. So Yu looks for a stronger engine and learns the old superweapon prototype is stored at the previous base. Yu and Kong drive with supplies. The car needs sunlight to charge, so they stop at night. The old base is far away. Earth sees you driving in the wrong direction, but he is chasing sunlight. He now has 41 days and can only sleep 4 hours a day. After a long trip, they reach the old base. You finds the warhead. Kong presses a button repeatedly, but it's only an inspection program. You locks Kong in the trunk and drives back, but the trunk breaks off without him noticing. Hundreds of miles later, you sees Kong is gone. He keeps driving but feels guilty. He goes back to save Kong. Earth celebrates. Kong happily licks you. UNMS tries to contact an old lunar dog to help you, but the dog falls into a crater and breaks. You and Kong continue driving without sleep. After 50 hours awake, they start losing sunlight. The temperature drops and you uses heat, draining the battery faster. With only 35 miles left, the car stops. You gives up and waits to die, but Kong plays with a reflection of light, giving you an idea. He turns the car door into a sled, attaches it to Kong, and makes Kong chase the flashing light. They move fast, jump a big chasm using gas tanks, and reach the base. Earth celebrates. People fix structures and use Yu's story for hope. Signs of Yu and Kong appear in the bunkers. 3 months later, UNMS restores communication. Yu is still working because Apollo is old. One day, he hears static again, but sees Kong messing with the wires. He tests them and realizes the truth. He is still alone. He cries and screams. His mind breaks again. UNMS needs 1 more month to fully fix comms. Launching speaks to all survivors. She says Yu isn't a hero, just an average man they left behind. But he worked hard for a year to save them, so they must help him. She asks everyone to shine their flashlights at the moon so Yu knows he isn't alone. Yu removes his helmet, losing oxygen, but Earth lights up with flashlights and lighthouses. Yu falls to his knees crying. After 613 days, communication is restored. Yu sees human faces again. He talks to the team every day. They guide him to fix Apollo. Yu becomes closer to Launching. One night, Yu tells Launching he quit the interview at first, but her smile made him return. Launching also confesses something. She saw Yu at the crater during evacuation, but still left because saving him would kill everyone. She says she would still do it again. Meanwhile, something moves toward Earth. The next day, Yu and Kong leave the moon in Apollo. They reach orbit and go to the lunar station. But UNMS gets bad news. Another asteroid piece called Pi Plus is coming to destroy what's left of Earth. Only you can save them by driving the warhead into the asteroid, but he will likely die. Launching calls you while streaming. You already heard everything. He decides to do it to save Launching and everyone. Survivors hide in bunkers. Yu cries as he says goodbye to Kong and sends him to Earth in an escape pod. Yu flies through dangerous meteorites. The ship spins after being hit. Launching says he must open the door to stop the spinning. Yu kicks the door until it opens, but the engine floats away. Apollo has no power now. Yu must move the warhead manually. He tells Launching he doesn't blame her for leaving him and asks her to stream his last moment. Then he leaves Apollo and gives a sad speech to humans. He uses his jetpack to guide the warhead. His suit breaks, but he keeps going. When he's close, he asks Launching to activate the explosive. A huge blast destroys the asteroid. Earth is saved, but Yu is gone. 10 years pass. Humans rebuild Earth. Kong has a statue and lives with other kangaroos. Launching flies to the moon with new astronauts. She imagines Yu beside her watching the broken pieces of Pi Plus forming a ring around Earth.